Practice, practice, practice. Now, this is going to be a different kind of video, but I really just wanted to talk about the idea of improving aim from someone who had, in my opinion, an okay aim to now having what I would call, pretty good aim, decent aim. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say I was like a 5 or 6, 5 or 6 out of 10. Compared to now, I'll say I'm like a 7 or 8. My aim now is a lot more consistent and quote-unquote beamy than it was before. So I guess I just wanted to make this video for anyone who may be in a similar position to where I am or where I was, or maybe just find themselves unable to get better aim despite watching a number of aim improving videos or using aim trainers and anything like that, because I feel like there's a bit more to it than just what you may think. So let me explain what worked for me. For starters, I am of the belief that in order to truly improve your aim, you need to understand what kind of player you are. And I mean understand who you are. Take in consideration the weapons you use, the class you use, how you play each game, and obviously, well, your aiming. And honestly, this in itself could be a whole nother video. I just kind of want to focus on the aiming portion here. When figuring out what kind of aimer you are, consider how you engage in your battles. Are you the kind of player who's lining up their shot in anticipation of their opponent? Are you more reactive and just sort of flick your enemies? Are you someone who is oftentimes tracking and find yourself trying to beam enemies more? Figuring out your aiming style here can really elevate your game. And the way you can figure this out is just by paying attention to your own gameplay while you're playing, or looking over your games in a replay or something similar. Alternatively, you can go into the firing range and mock battle the dummies and try to notice any of your aiming tendencies. After you figured out your aiming style, then should consider if that's what you want to improve in or you want to learn something else. Whatever you decide you want to do, this is when you can start having more fun. Whether that's going to be improving what you feel like you're already good at or improving what you're not so good at. Using myself as an example, back in season 4, I decided I wanted to improve my aim overall. As in every FPS I played, I've always had to rely on my mechanical skill and game knowledge to outsmart and outplay my opponents, over simply outgunning them. Because me as a player, I found that I was really good that kind of playstyle. But in season 4, I wanted to just improve my aim. I wanted to just be more versatile in that regard. So I noticed that I flicked a lot. I was doing a lot of flicks in any game I played. I just flicked a lot. That was just kind of what I did. Whenever I was using AK or model, Lewis gun, literally anything, I always found that I would flick to my targets more often than I would just track them. Which meant for me, I noticed I had pretty good target acquisition. But afterwards, my aim would go down the drain because my tracking wasn't up to par. As such, this meant that I was going to start working on my ability to beam people, my tracking. And let me tell you, I was horrible at this. I was going to the practice range and missed like half a mag. It was pretty bad. So I sat there and went into my settings, tweaked some things in a way where I had a slow ADS sense, allowed me to track more consistently, while maintaining a faster hipfire sense, allowed me to still be able to flick, and after a few days of tuning it, I finally got it to what I have now. And these are my settings. My settings I don't think is as elaborate as others, but this is what works for me. The way I practice and the way I recommend to others to try is that after you determine your aiming style, come to the firing range and work on that style. If you're trying to beam, pick a range you want to improve at, and then try beaming these dummies from that range. When you get it down, move back another 5 meters, and so on and so forth. If you're flicking, try and place your reticle in the center and just move around, flicking at enemy, moving from enemy to enemy, rather that's in a fast-paced environment. Like, imagine you're using model, you're going to be wanting to slide in, jump around, you're going to be constantly straight and left and right. Just keep trying to flick. I'll probably show this stamp on the screen what I mean, but keep just doing movements like this and get better at doing stuff like this. Regarding flicking enemies, prioritize hitting targets over anything. It's okay to do it it's okay to be slow at first. Just practice actually hitting the target. You don't need to do it quickly, you just want to hit them. Line it up, patience, The speed will come as you do this more and more. Like I said, You will get faster and faster over time. This is probably the biggest thing to get okay with, is teaching you, and this is teaching you trigger discipline. This one little thing, trigger discipline, is what I believe is one of the biggest things also keeping a decent or good player from reaching the heights of like a really solid player or like the pros. I would say trigger discipline is what kind of separates people in honestly any FPS. Understand that if you're spamming shots and missing, that's doing you no good. If you can acknowledge when you start missing or you're going to miss, and you're able to like kind of correct it, that's good. Or just don't shoot unless you line it up. Weapons like model, deagles, hand cannon, even the LH1 benefit more from hitting shots, and missing is a huge detriment for these weapons. In the same vein, trigger discipline also applies for beaming weapons, like any default auto guns. If you find yourself missing, stop shooting, compose yourself, and get back on target. The moment you have to reload, the enemy likely wins that fight, unless they also have to reload, then you know. Who reloaded first then, right? Trigger discipline was something that I had to teach myself as well, especially with using weapons like model, because I found that sometimes I would just shoot because I might get some damage in, but in reality, if I just took like an extra like 0.3 seconds to just line up a little bit, I could have did more damage than if I just, instead of me doing like a 17, you know? Just taking a little bit of extra time just to correct your aim and getting better, like doing that will in the end reward you with speed. You'll be able to do it a lot quicker and be more fluent at it. And I also found when I was using weapons like AK and XP and all this other like beamy weapons, I found sometimes I would do what I would call lazy aim, which I will show right now. That's what I call lazy aiming. You just kind of shoot and you just don't really think about it. You're just like, oh, they're probably just walking to the bullets, right? They're probably just walking to it. That's what I call lazy aiming, and I noticed I did that somewhat frequently, and I would call myself out on like, oh, I'm lazy aiming. Let me stop. I don't know what you actually want to call that. Maybe it's just missing, but I call it lazy aiming. Yeah, that's kind of all I really wanted to say. I do want to point out that practicing in firing range or practicing or however you decide to practice, you don't need to do it every single day. Yes, doing it daily for like 10, 15 minutes, whatever. Yeah, doing it daily will net you better results faster, but you don't have to do it every single day. For me, I spend about 10, 15 minutes every like 3 days or so. And like, yeah, again, I'm not here to say that I have crazy aim or anything like that. I still don't have like crazy aim. By no means am I trying to say that. But I noticed drastic improvements from before and now. Especially if you watch a lot of my older videos from back in like season 1 going up to season 4, you'll notice as well that aiming wise, you didn't really see too much like quote unquote beamage. But now if you look at more recent clips, you might notice that I do beam a little bit more consistently in the clips that I show. Obviously these are just clips, you know, hand-picked or whatever, but the point still remains. Me personally, I don't mind showing all my bad games as well. So hopefully people can take my word on this. But yeah, I just kind of want to make this video because I felt like a lot of the improved aim videos or a lot of the aim trainers from like what other people tell me and what I would do my own research and find, I just found a lot of these just didn't really go over like the mentality section of it. Like you need to also want to do this, because it's simple to just copy someone's settings and call it a day or try to fine tune them however you want. But it's a different thing when you want to do this and put in the initiative to do it. If you're not willing to go that far, you're probably not going to see that much improvement in your actual aim. That's all I really want to say. It won't be easy, it won't be quick, but it will happen if you keep at it. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, take care and peace. Bye bye.